G'day guys, E53 here, and today's the day. The big iRacing update has come out. And a lot of new content, a lot of new bits and pieces, a lot of exciting stuff for people who are all involved in iRacing. There's the implementation of the green-white checker and the new NASCAR Mustang and the Chevy Silverado truck, but most of the talking has been about this thing here, which is the Lucas Oil Pro truck. It comes in two versions, the 2 and the 4, two-wheel drive and four-wheel drive, and a couple of new tracks as well, which are designed for this kind of car. So wanted to get out there and give them a go and answer that all-important question that you always ask when a piece of new iRacing content comes out, because they are quite expensive, is it worth your money? And that's what we want to find out. So let's jump in and take this one for a spin and see what we think. So obviously, as you'd expect, fairly bare bones basic inside. Not really a lot to it. Window net, dashboard, few switches and lights, and that's about all. As you would know with this series, tube frame chassis with the fiberglass body panels, lots of contact, lots of action. It's a very popular series for spectators and so on. But what we want to find out is it going to be a popular series on iRacing? Is it going to be something that people are going to want to drive and is going to have a long shelf life as far as official racing goes? Because as we know, quite often a piece of content gets released, a lot of hype about it for a little while, and then everyone gets bored with it and they go back to GT3 and Skip Barber and NASCAR trucks and all the traditionally popular stuff. So we want to find out if this car or this style of racing has actually got some staying power as far as drawing the crowds and drawing the races. So let's get in, have a drive, and see how it all goes. So we'll just shift her into gear here and head out of the pits. A lot of elevation change, as you'd expect. We're going to get our first jump straight away. First thing I'll say, it's not as tricky as I thought it was going to be to handle. I was expecting something quite similar to the Rallycross, where, of course, you know, they're very softly sprung and so on. Man, my cornering technique needs some work. But yeah, they're very softly sprung and so on. But I always found the Rallycross cars really, really hard to handle. Did a couple of races with them and never touched them again. And I know that's, if you're really good at sim racing, those cars are, you can get a lot out of them. Some people really like them. For me, I didn't really. But this is not like that. It's not hard and twitchy. It's big and soft and easy, really. It reacts very slowly when you change direction, as you'd expect. It's not a very stiffly sprung thing, it's quite heavy. You've only got those two wheels driving you from the back. Oh, landed a bit crooked. There's a bit of an art form to getting it right. And it really does give the impression of a vehicle that's going to be easy to drive and hard to master, which is what all the best things in life are, let's be honest. One of the things that I sort of expected looking at this series as well is that the official races were going to be pretty chaotic, and I think that's still going to be the case, but at the same time your cornering speeds are quite low and the car's so catchable that I don't think it's going to matter. If someone runs into you and damages you and so on, it's not going to be the end of the world as far as your performance goes. I've really got to learn to flick the tail around. I'm not doing very well. Off-road driving technique definitely needs some work. I don't even do a lot of dirt speedway, but we're way out of the groove there. this is fun. Oh, a bit sideways, but it's so catchable. You can see I was nearly 90 degrees to the direction of travel there, and completely catchable. You don't have to do much with the gears. It's really second gear for the tighter corners and third for the straights. Might even be able to get away with third around the corners. I'm not sure what that'll... Yeah, it does bog down a little bit. You probably want... Yeah, it's not very good. You really want second. Of course, this is the two-wheel drive version, so very much driving it with the throttle. Oh, I get that wrong just about every time. Very much driving it on the throttle to get that turn in. Getting it to land right is a bit of an art form. So what we might do is just jump out of this one and load up the Pro4, the four-wheel drive one, and give a go of that. Alright, so here we are now with the Pro4 truck. This is the four-wheel drive version. The higher level, I believe it's considered the higher level version of this particular style of racing is the Pro4. So going to jump in this one now and have a bit of a go, see how it handles. And I'm a little bit, not really apprehensive, but curious, I suppose, to find out exactly what this is like, because I've always been a little bit disappointed with the way that four-wheel drive has been implemented on iRacing. It might just be me, but I mean, I've driven the Audi 90, Audi 80, the GTO car, the four-wheel drive IMSA car, and for me, that particular car never really felt like a four-wheel drive car. I've driven four-wheel drive cars in real life. I've driven the four-wheel drive cars on other sims, the rally, and I've even driven that very Audi on Race Room, and the Race Room one feels far more accurate in terms of what a four-wheel drive race car you would think feels like. So I'm a little bit kind of curious as to whether they've whether this feels good, whether it feels like a proper 4x4 should feel, or whether it feels totally wrong. So let's jump in, see how we get on. As you can see straight away when you jump into this one, the bonnet line's very different. The shape of the car is quite different. So I don't think that's going to change too much from the performance perspective, but just something just in case you're ever watching an online video with somebody and you're wondering which one they're driving. You can tell it's got quite a pronounced wheel arch over here. Anyway, let's get on with it. Enough of that. Get out there and see how she runs. And I can tell already, you can definitely feel the 4x4. It's quite pronounced. It's a lot better representation of 4x4 than the Audi, in my opinion. And you can really sort of balance it on the brake through the turns and accelerate a lot earlier, and you can really feel those front tyres gripping. Probably tell my cornering speeds compared to the Pro2 are way up. Way up. Oh, there's got to be a better way to ride those bumps. Doing a terrible job. This thing's a weapon. I feel like I'm going quite quickly, but I can bet my bottom dollar there are guys out there already that are absolutely spanking me at this. You know what it's like when you get a new car and you're cruising around and you think you're going quite quickly, and then you go, oh yeah, you know, I'll jump into my first race, and you get in there with a bunch of guys who, you know, are already very good sim racers, and it's just seconds a lap faster. I feel like that's what it's going to be like in this when I jump into a race. I feel like I'm going quick, but I'm not. Having a lot of fun either way. This is actually really nice to corner in because you can just sort of squeeze the brake. I don't know if you can see my throttle and steering traces over there to the side, but you can just sort of squeeze the brake at the same time as the accelerator. It just sort of pulls you around the corner. The Pro 2 doesn't do that. It's very much a 4x4 thing. So just around like this, bit of brake on, throttle. Oh, a bit of an odd landing. Sorry, I'm not talking too much, I'm just having too much fun. Oh, how close to the wall. How you land is so important. Really an art form to taking the jumps. I always feel like I screw up that section. Definitely did there. I always feel like I get that wrong. Doesn't matter what I do. Technique in it, I'm sure. Alright, well, time for a little bit of serious opinion, I suppose. Got a bit of a hang of how they both go. So, time to answer some questions. Okay, so we're answering the question now, is this worth your money? And I was already thinking about this video earlier on today and sort of getting a bit of an idea in my own head about what I thought these were going to be like. And my thoughts were, you know, they were going to be good fun to drive, bit tricky. Official races were probably going to be absolutely chaotic, and because of that, the crowds would get drawn away. There'd be an initial period of hype, and after that, they kind of go the way of rallycross, where not that many people race them official anymore, just because of, you know, how difficult it is and how chaotic the races are and so on. After driving them, my opinion is that that is 100% wrong. These are so much fun. They are literally, genuinely so much fun. Even just driving on my own was great fun. With the terrible technique that I had and the continual stuffing up of the landings and the jumps and stuff, it was still incredibly fun. And I think even in the official races, yes, there's going to be a lot of body contact. That's the nature of the racing, and we all know that sim races can get sort of a a bit upset when you make contact. Even in a sport type of racing where there is often a lot of body contact, people get upset. But I think that because of the low cornering speeds in these, it's not like a rallycross car or a sprint car or something like that where the second you touch someone, it's race over. You know, they're going to be airborne and over the catch fence. The cornering speeds are slow enough that you're going to be able to bump into each other. You're going to be able to rub panels with people and knock panels off and really get stuck into some hard races with people without ruining the races of the people that you're racing against. You're going to be able to bounce off each other. You're going to be able to just really get stuck into it the way that you're supposed to get stuck into this type of racing. And I think that these are going to be brilliant. I think they're going to be absolutely brilliant. And I'm so happy to say that I was completely wrong on what my initial preconceptions were about this, what this was going to be, what this was going to be like. And if you are kind of questioning in your mind whether or not you should go pick this up, go grab them. I know you've got to buy tracks as well. There's a couple of tracks out for these. You probably need to buy both. Just go grab it. Just go get them. You will not regret it. Trust me. If you do, feel free to leave me a hateful comment below, because I cannot imagine a way in which anyone's going to dislike these. They are so much fun. And I think they're going to have a very long shelf life as far as the official racing is concerned. I think that people are going to love racing these for a long time. I think they're going to pull good numbers right across all the official races that happen. Even after the initial hype as these have died off, I still think they're going to be very, very popular in the way that the NASCAR trucks are, or the Skippies are, or the GT3s are. I think, you know, we all know how popular GT3 is. I think this is Dirt Road's GT3. It's going to be popular, and honestly, I can't recommend them enough. I'm not really into this style of racing myself as a spectator. I don't think I've ever watched a pro truck race, but gee, they're a lot of fun. They're a fantastic amount of fun. So it's 2 thumbs up from me if that's a thing. Go out there, grab them, because it's absolutely fantastic. And I'm glad to be able to say that. So thanks very much for watching. If you do agree, disagree, you've got anything else to add to this, please leave a comment below. If you want to be able to refer to this back later, please give it a like. It'll appear in your liked videos list on your page. And also, if you like some of the content that you're seeing and you want to see more videos, leave a subscribe as well. Subscribe to the channel, and you get alerted when I come out with more ramblings about iRacing stuff or sim racing stuff or real life stuff or whatever that happens to be. So until next time, thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.